Welcome back to the channel, good friends. Brian from Apex Detail. Today I will show you a few ways to remove heavy oxidation and bring that dead, dull paint back to extreme high gloss. First of all, after the wash process, start with clay. Very simple. I don't need to show you that. Just clay the whole vehicle and you can remove a lot of those dead paint molecules just with that step alone. The next thing we're going to do is 3 different types of polishing techniques, different tools, different pads, different correction fluids. We're going to start off with a dual action polisher and microfiber cut pads. Grab some old ones because they will get torn up, they will get heavy transfer from the oxidation from the surface to your pad. You will need to clean pads between every pass to keep them effective or they will slow you down. So we're going to use a cutting compound and the microfiber pad with just this 15 millimeter throw, and I'll show you the type of work we can get done with this combination alone. This is a basic way to get it done. It will take longer and it will also be harder on the paint as it will take multiple passes and will spike temperatures in that area. Okay, so just with a crisscross pattern equal to 2 quick passes, you can see the oxidation that has transferred onto the pad itself. Again, it needs to be blown out or use any method you have or deem necessary to clean that pad between every pass, load back up with product, and do another pass. Because as I bring you in, you're going to see it has done some decent work removing that dead paint, but it's a little blotchy. It's still not as clear as I would like it to be. So multiple passes with this method will be needed, but it's possible. All right, let me pick another spot and we'll show you another method and combination or team that's even more effective than the last. By the way, the clay process did a great job removing a lot of the topical paint dead molecules. As you can see, at least we have a little bit of reflection from the light where there wasn't any before. Now we're going to get a nice crisp reflection with these next 2 steps here. This is a 2-step process because we're going to use the rotary and a wool cutting pad. This will quickly remove the oxidized paint, but of course, as I show you often, it will leave a little bit of hazing behind and you'll need to refine it and follow up with a finishing step.
This is literally as dirty as black.
And even more of that transfer. Again, get rid of that, blow it out, or whatever method you have to clean your pads, then load up with product and keep moving along. Now let me remove the residue and bring you in, and you'll see we've done a lot of work quickly. Removed the dead paint molecules, but there's going to be a little bit of hazing left behind from the aggression of the pad and the correction fluid. So I'll show you the next step, and we'll get the tape back up there to preserve our 50-50 shot, and we'll pick up a dual action polisher. You can also use the Rotary to finish down, and we will use 3D1, especially on single stage paint. 3D1 is the one I'll reach for first. It's very oily. Any of you that have worked with 3D1, you know it's a little bit of a chore to remove sometimes because it's so oily, but with single stage being so porous, 3D1 is an excellent choice. It extends that work time, cuts down on dusting. The foam pads really pick up that transfer, so again, very important, clean it out before you load up with product again. We'll wipe off the residue, and I'll bring you in and show you the huge improvements we've made. By the way, normally I do like darkroom correcting, only having one source of light. It really, to me, makes those imperfections stand out no matter what they are, but for the sake of the camera, I do lighten things up in the shop here today, and I do apologize if it struggles to go back and forth adjusting to the light. But as we wipe off the residue and I bring you in, we go from hardly any reflection at all coming from the shop light in the background to a detailed, crisp reflection. And I also want to show you 3D. Being so oily, I did wipe it down, but you can see there's still a lot of oil left. It can be a bear to wipe down, but on single stage paint, which is very absorbent, I really love to match up 3D1. It extends the work or the open time and cuts down on any dusting whatsoever, keeping your shop clean. And now with it wiped down again, you can really see the crisp reflections. Let's get some numbers behind the results that we're seeing here. We're going to start out on the section that we didn't shave that oxidation and dead paint molecules, and we'll be in the 40s, low to mid 40s, which is horrible, of course. And after just one crisscross pattern, we double that with a dual action polisher. Over here with the Rotary, where we were a bit more aggressive and added another step, we really climb with the gloss meter. And no, those numbers are correct. They are extremely high, and I'm going to actually go over to calibrate it right in front of you, and we'll go back to the panel and show you these are the correct numbers. With the calibration unit of this gloss meter, it will calibrate to 101 gloss units. Right there it is. And the meter will be spot on, as you can see right here. And we're going to walk right back over to the panel, and we'll get those extremely high numbers. And let me show you just one more very effective, quick way to remove oxidation. And it's safe for the surface because it doesn't spike temperatures whatsoever. We'll work on the A pillar here. As you can see, hardly any reflection whatsoever. And we're going to start with 3000 grit, a Trizac, a sheet, whatever you have. It doesn't matter. But use the wet sanding method It cuts down on airborne dust from the wet sanding that can get circulated throughout the shop. You want to keep a nice clean shop. Wet sanding is the best way to control that residue. And we're going to continue to wet sand until we see that white chalky residue run down the side of the vehicle, and that shows that we are removing those dead paint molecules. Clean up, wipe it down the best you can, and from there you only need to grab a one-step or finishing polish and team that up with a pad, and you'll be able to remove the sand marks and bring out that highly reflective surface. Hardly any effort at all, no big deal. With hardly any effort, no time at all, into this A-pillar here, we've had some great results. The oxidation is gone, and we bring that paint back to life. And again, a spike in the gloss meter. When you have picked your combination or team, go around and protect or cover other surfaces, as we started to do here. We could even hang some plastic to keep the wet sanding residue from staining or dirtying the trim. Well, you don't have to go back and spend a lot of time cleaning it and digging out these plastic vents. So that's a great idea for the next step before you get started. I couldn't help myself. I had to get going on this. We did the back quarter panel and the rear suicide door, and a huge difference. And this is what we can expect as we continue around the cruiser here. So I decided to cut with the Rotary and then follow up with the dual action polisher to clean things up, clean up the haze, bring out the high gloss. And I even get the newest member of the team on the polisher. Yes, I throw them right into the mix. Get a polisher in their hand, get them used to the machines, all of them. Rotary, dual action, different size rotaries. We broke them all out for this cruiser, and these are the results. No panel prep. This is just wiping off the polish residue. No protection. This is raw. This is clear, clean, raw, single stage paint. This works for clear coat as well, and this may help you out. And that will do it for this video. If you have any questions at all, leave them down in the comments section. This has been Brian from Apex Detail. Catch you in the next video.